Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Now let's give a warm welcome to our main speaker, Tony.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Tony. I'm an alcoholic. And I'll first thank Aaron and Dan for asking us to come out to speak and to share here in Malibu. And I used to live up at Malibu Lake for a few years. I'd come down here every Saturday night, and I really love this meeting. And there are a lot of people here that I know, you know, and there sure are a lot of people here that I don't know. Yeah, it's the crowd changes often in Alcoholics Anonymous. A little too often for my taste. Yeah. And I want to thank Shannon for sharing with the group. Shannon is really absolutely wonderful. She's one of the most giving people I've ever known. I mean, she sponsors a number of girls, and she's always on the phone. I mean, I guess whether she just won't stop. But she's always on the phone with them and helping them, and she works just a fantastic, inspiring program, and a lot of strength. A lot of courage, and it's the kind of courage that's exhibited here in Alcoholics Anonymous that has led me out of the dark. You know, I suppose that I put myself in. You know, I didn't know any better since I was asleep. You know? They say here that you'll have a spiritual awakening as the result of working the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, all 12 of them. And so that sort of constitutes to me that I've been asleep most of my life. And that when I did have a spiritual awakening, it was it didn't come none too soon, as they say. You know, I mean, I'm not a big war story guy. But let me qualify, all right? Well, I drank and used for close to 20 years, I guess. Whatever actually was at the party was my favorite drug, and the party could have just consisted of me. So I really loved alcohol and drugs, and I loved the lies that they told me, you know. And I came to know a new freedom and a new happiness as the result of ingesting drugs and alcohol. And I forgot about my lies, and I was not afraid to shut the door on them. But I guess I comprehended the word serenity, and I knew peace as I never had since the previous day when I'd still been up after doing cocaine all night. But, I mean, all that aside, I didn't have any steps to work. Well, actually, yeah, I did. I had my steps. I was working my steps before I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was introduced to the principles and the steps of this program. But my steps didn't work, and my steps left me in a coma for some time in a hospital after yet another car accident, where they found me with a stick shift through my chest, and and my head crushed, and most of the bones of my body broken. And man, I was only drinking. I mean, come on, I was only doing blow, I mean, I didn't want to have an accident, I actually, as it says in the book, we don't believe there are any accidents. I don't know. I woke up out of this coma, or I came to it, my first coming to, and I looked down at my body in the bed, and it was covered with stitches and tubes coming out of it, and I thought, I think I've really done it this time, it's not good, and I couldn't move, and I was tied into this bed, and I got scared, I got really scared, and then I was told that I'd been in a coma for a few weeks, and that it was really something, and so I was in a wheelchair for a while in the hospital, and I guess I was on the table 4 or 5 times, different procedures and stuff. So I finally get out of the hospital, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, I'm snorting cocaine and drinking again. I mean, denial. Don't even know I'm lying. Huh? I mean, don't even know anything. I mean, don't even know I'm living. And, I thought it was, I guess the only evil that there is when I participate, I thought it was a good idea at the time, But my thinking, my perception certainly has changed in the almost 18 years that I've been sober and clean. It is not an option for me to drink or use again today or this evening. It's just not an option, I found it necessary a whole bunch of times but I just didn't, because it's just not an option. I don't want to be in that same pain any longer. I mean, I paid my dues. Years of them, and I finally, by the grace of my higher power, I escaped. I was set free, as Shannon referred to, and I certainly wasn't on any merit of my own, because I could stop when I wanted to, Next weekend, I'm going to stop. All right, Thanksgiving I'll stop, because it's a holiday. Christmas I'll stop. No, New Year's, because it's a new year, and I'll stop on I'll stop New Year's. And next New Year's I'll stop. And it just kept on, it was insane. It was just insane. And I got stopped. So I'd been up again for a few days, or however many days it was. There's runs that I went on, where I didn't have to leave my house, and at some point I went over to the mirror that was above the fireplace, and I saw a reflection of myself. Now, after all this damage and all this emotional stuff that I've been through, all this pain, and some real suffering, I really put myself through it, there was just one moment I had of clarity, and I guess it was over. I don't know what happened, I don't try to figure it out. I mean, it was over, and I've been clean and sober since that moment. I was 12-stepped into the program by 5 different people, that wouldn't hear my stuff any longer. I mean, you people, I go over to you and I say, and they go, why don't you just try a meeting? Why don't you just try not drinking today? Why don't you just hang out with somebody? Why don't you do that? And I went, look, it's okay for you guys, you know. You guys are really sick. I still, you know, I can stop anytime I want. And I kept this on and on, you know. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, as they say here, you know. Because then I started having seizures. And if you want to know what powerless is, try having 5 grand mal seizures in one night. You know, it really isn't. It's not a dance. It's really a drag. You know, it is a real drag. And you know, and so I'm scared, man. I'm on the edge of it, and I've got doctors telling me that it doesn't look good for me, and you know. It's just amazing, you know. So so it was really big of me. I became willing to go to a meeting, you know. Man, everything I have has claw marks all over it, you know. I mean, everything, you know. And so finally, I this one guy that I've known for a little over 30 years. He's in the same kind of business that I'm in. He disappeared, and I called it. I mean, I used to use with this guy all the time, and I called, and his wife said he had a heart attack. So, you know, I said, no, I know what happened to him. She said, what do you mean? I said, he was taken away, right, because he did too much cocaine. He said, oh, no, oh, okay, you know, and so he got out of the hospital, and he came into the program first, and he started talking to me about it. And he said, you know, Tony, it's not going to work anymore. And he said, I OD'd, and they had me in a straitjacket. They took me away, and I've been introduced to AA, and you know, and so a couple of my friends, this was happening to all my drinking and using buddies were getting sober, you know. And not that there's a shortage of people out there to drink and use with, you know. I could find people any place, you know. But I was getting scared, so I just didn't pick up. I just started going to meetings, and I started coming to. I started to feel my life. And started to feel some gratitude, the fact that I was still alive after all of the damage I'd done to myself. And I was in a meeting one night, and I was really shaky. And this guy came up to me and he said, I'm going to be your sponsor. I'm going to be your mother and your father and your best friend and everything else, and you're going to listen to exactly what I tell you to do. And I said, why should I do that? He says, because I'm going to break your neck if you don't. And you're not using it. It's not an option for you to use. So this guy became my sponsor. He was a biker, you know, and I really love him. You know, he was there for me, as we are for each other here. And I never saw this. My dealer wasn't that way, you know. I mean, this guy was really there for me. I'd call him at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he'd say, listen, just, you know, take a hot bath, just go back to bed. Just drink some milk, go back to bed. Everything's okay. You're all right. Your head's out to get you, you know. You can come up with any reality you want to, but the only one that's real is your moment that you're in. Just get back in bed, you know. And I stayed sober. I stayed sober. By this time, I now had 2 small children and 2 babies. And their mother and I used and drank together. And so it was, you had 2 people that were getting clean and sober in this house. And trying to raise these, actually there was, our 2 babies, and I was step-parenting a third. So there are 3 little children, and 2 other children, raising these children. Yeah. And so we went to meetings, and we took the kids to meetings, and took the kids to AA parties, and took the kids with us to all the functions that AA does, you know. So naturally, we're at a kid's birthday party, and we're saying happy birthday, and they're saying, keep coming back at the end of, you know. And there goes the anonymity, you know. And I'm really, you know, I mean, it's funny, you know. And I really do think my higher power does happen to be God. And I thank God that these kids were raised around AA and you, because they're 18 and 19 years old now, and they're both in college, and neither of them drink or use. And they're on a spiritual quest to find out who they are. My boy came to town. They live in Wisconsin. Their mother and I divorced, and they live in Wisconsin, but my boy came to town. He went to my men's stag with me. And this is about 30 guys that came around the table, and it came to him. And he said, well, I guess I'm an alcoholic because of him. But I don't know, and, you know. And I don't know if he is or not. That's not, actually, it's not my business. You know, that's his business. But he's got the opportunity to find out, and he knows where to go to find out. And he knows who to talk to find out. And he doesn't have to be ashamed if he has feelings. And he doesn't have to be ashamed if he does something and he hurts himself. He knows that he can talk to somebody about it, you know, because he knows he's human. He knows he's frail, and he knows that he can be, you know, scared and whatever, and that doesn't make him worthless. And it's not my parents' fault that I'm an alcoholic, or that I, you know, did what I did, you know. It's my thinking, mine, you know. And I am the sum total of everything I've been through in my life, and so now for the last almost 18 years I've been sober and going through and living in sobriety, and trying to give this away to others that whose hands aren't open to take it. But if we just keep throwing it, you know, a lot of them pick the ball up, you know, and it is really thrilling when you see somebody get sober that you're helping, you know, or that you're trying to help. I mean, most of the guys that I've tried to help don't remember anything I say, you know, or don't, you know, but what they do remember is that I'm still here. When they show up at a meeting, they say, oh, hey, Tony, you're still here. I go, well, I'm one of the sicker than other patrol, so I stick around, you know. And I think there's a guy named Mickey Bush. I got that from him. Right, you're one of the sicker than other patrol, mate. You know, you got to stay here. You're a walking time bomb, you know what I mean? I'm just like, all right, you know. Yeah, we're sober, son of a bitch, everything's real. Hey, you know. There's acronyms for everything. Yeah. I've worked a lot of my life as a musician. I was given a gift of being a musician, and I grew up in a entertainment family. My father's an actor, comedian, and a very successful one. And so I was around entertainment my whole life as a child. And I saw alcohol and drugs as a way to befriend people and to swing, you know. The way to have fun and a way to get intimate and, you know, get close to people and be really vulnerable with people and really get down, you know. You got drunk and you laid around and, you know, hey, you watched the fights on Sunday and whatever, you know. And So I continued to stay in the entertainment field, and I discovered I was a musician. So I'm self-taught, and I started playing, and I became proficient enough that I had some success, and which was to play other than in my living room, you know, and so I played a lot of living rooms all over the world, sort of, and all along the way in my love of music was a parallel of alcohol and drugs there, you know, or my thinking, I should say. My thinking went everywhere I went, you know. But well, actually, Shannon always says my disease was like King Kong. I was handcuffed to King Kong. Wherever King Kong went, there I was, you know. But so I've traveled all over the world. I mean, numbers of times, and all that time I was high, you know, and I met hundreds of people I don't remember, you know. I mean, I played stages. I never remembered any of them, you know. I mean, some of them. But I did a lot of. I was reckless. It's amazing. I'm not in jail. I'm not in prison, you know. I put myself in harm's way every single night, you know. Every single night. It was just the thing that was a little more thrilling than doing the show, you know. After the show, right to harm's way, right, get it right in there. Drive me out of town someplace. I don't speak the language. Take me out there, I don't care. Let's go get high. I don't even know these people. Take me. You know? I would be in some, like, A-frame in Copenhagen somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. Now, if they said, Tony, get out. I don't know where I'd be. You know, they'd find me a month from now in the grass. I mean, you know? I don't know. But I mean, you know, I had faith in that. I had a lot of faith there. You know, I put my faith right in that. That's alcohol and drugs. Hey, take care of me right away. You know? So when I came in the program, they said, you got to have the faith in something greater than your own thinking. I thought, oh, come on, you know. What? God? What, is there a God part of the thing? You know? And, I mean, I'm certainly not against God. You know? So he was doing stuff my way before. And then I realized I have to, my sponsor said, you know, I want you to write a note and put it on your bathroom mirror, right in the middle of the mirror. Thank you, God, today I won't be needing your help today. Signed, Tony. You know? And I thought, wait a minute, that's not right. No, he said, no. He said, right, no, thank you, I won't be needing your help today, signed God, you know? And I thought, well, all right, I guess I better trust in something because I'm in trouble. I'm really, you know, I don't know how to stay sober. And I was told that if I would work the steps of the program and believe in something greater than myself, that I might have a shot. I might have a shot of having a life, you know? I might have a shot at just having Saturday night, you know? I might have a shot of watching my children grow up clean and sober. I might have a shot at being there for my friends. A lot of my friends have died of alcohol and drugs over the years, and what a waste, you know. A lot of blood on the ceiling, man. I mean, really, just, you know. And they don't get the opportunity of going to a meeting. They didn't make it. You know, they will never get the opportunity of saying, oh, I don't know if I want to go to a meeting tonight, you know. I mean, they're dead. And I'm very, very grateful that I don't have to be there. You know, I don't have to go to meetings, you know, I get to. And I don't have to go but one meeting a week, but I don't know which day that is, so I go every day that I can. You know, I can never figure out which day it was. So you know, I first came in, there was a guy named Irv Nemi speaking at a meeting in Rodeo. Irv was a union boss, and he died 10 or 15 years ago, but he was the first guy. I mean, he said that night he took a 25-year cake. And I thought, now come on, who stays sober 25 years? Where's the fun in that? You know? So I went up to him, I said, how do you stay sober 25 years? He said, you go to a meeting every day, and that's what you're going to do. And I thought, oh, well, all right, I guess that's how you do it, you know. And I went to a meeting every day, you know. And I could do that because I wasn't working. You know? Yeah, I wasn't. I do this for a living. You know, I wasn't earning my way, but I do this for a living. And so I did go to a meeting every day for years. You know, maybe 2 or 3 meetings a day for years, and it really started to take hold. That this was a fantastic path. That this was really inspired by God. There's not a God part of this program. This is about God, you know. This is a spiritual program. I mean, you know, one of my favorite lines is that, you know, religion is for people afraid of going to hell. Or afraid of going to hell. And the, you know, spiritual program is for those who have been there. And I, you know, I raised my hand with that, you know. I'm not angry anymore. I mean, I'm not angry. And I didn't know how that would ever stop. I'm not pissed off, you know. If you say something to me that I don't like, okay. I mean, I don't care. Now, some of it might have to do with the fact that I turned 50 years old in September, you know. Maybe not. I was angry for, you know, 49 years. So, you know, I don't know. Man, I used to think I was the last angry guy, you know. Yes, I've really, the blues and the, you know. I was listening to the group on the way here on the radio. We're doing a cover of an Albert King song. It says, I've been down so long. I've been down since I was 10, born under a bad sign. You know. Only bad luck is. If I didn't have bad luck, I would have no luck at all. If I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. You know. And yeah, I gotta say, it was bluesy. You know, and it does get pretty bluesy sometimes, you know, but isn't that great? I mean, you know, the pain just tells me I'm so much closer to the truth. I'm so much closer to the truth. I'm so much closer to peeling that onion, as we hear about, you know. I mean, getting to the center of who I am. I mean, who am I? Can you see it? Can you see the divorces when you look at me? I mean, can you see you know, you can't see these things. Can you see the car accidents? Can you see the broken relationships and, you know, the lost jobs and the geographics and all that? No, you know. But I'm an alcoholic. All those things happen to me, you know. I didn't drink because I lost a job, or drink because I lost a marriage, or drink because I, whatever, you know, those things happened because I drank. Those things happened because I used and drank. And the result of my thinking was, I better drink and use, you know? And as a result of drinking and using, there's that third column, you know? And what's my part in it? It always came back to the same thing, you know? Stop thinking and just take some action, you know? I mean, God, I can think myself right into, you know, right into the coffin. When I follow direction and just show up, that's where the magic happens. If I just show up, you know, that's where the surprise is, you know. That is where the surprise is. And I like surprises. I really like surprises. And every day I wake up, I don't know what's going to happen now. I knew every day what was going to happen before. I was going to search for it and find it and put it to death. You know? It's going to search and destroy. That was it. And now I get up and it's a new day every day. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I see what good I can put into it. You know, because what I take is what I bring. And thank you again for letting me speak tonight. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control is connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.